Hello tankers and welcome to the official YouTube channel of Jumper. Today's yet another voiceover video as we're going to be going over all the recent implements of the augments for Thunder which have been added to the game. This augment is by far, if not the most intensive alteration which Thunder currently has. Along with all the other augments we'll be going over today, they are only obtainable via ultra containers. Essentially, this augment increases the amount of damage it does by the range of how far your opponent is. Here's a list of its advantages to disadvantages. The advantages first are: its projectile speed is 200 times faster than a normal shell. Its weaker damage has been bumped by 400% more. Both of its minimum and maximum damage have been decreased by 50%, but because it's an overkill for opponents which are farther away, this isn't much of a disadvantage. Now for the disadvantages. Its regular damage has been decreased by 50% and it doesn't deal critical hits. These next augments are basically an addition to what both Smokey and Railgun have, which are burning and freezing augment effects. Although they are complete opposites, they do contain similar advantages and disadvantages, so let's go over them. Here's a list of its advantages to disadvantages. The advantages first are: for Salamander, critical hits raise the tank's heats within a radius of 12 meters to above 0.40. And for Wyvern, critical hits lower the tank's heat within a radius of 12 meters to minus 1.0. Both deal splash damage, making it effective for shooting at a group of tanks. Now for the disadvantages. Its critical damage is decreased by 20% for both of these augments. Anyways, let's get into a couple games to really show off the powers. Enjoy!
Troubled mind. Does anybody know where do we go when our skin gets cold? Does anybody